Yo, what is good, everyone? Drizzy MMA here, and today I'm going to be going over the highly anticipated return of Conor McGregor. It's been 5 years since he's last fought, and he has a very tough opponent ahead of him in Max Holloway. This is a very big fight. I feel like everyone is kind of writing Conor McGregor off, saying that this is an easy win for Max, but I think Conor McGregor has some ways to win this fight. I do believe that Max Holloway is still going to win this fight, but I think there is ways for Conor to win, and I wouldn't be too surprised if he got the upset, especially looking at the last two title fights. Sean Strickland pulling off a big upset against Hamza Chimaev, and UFC Freedom 250 Justin Gaethje defeating Ilia Topuria and becoming the lightweight champion. Two big underdogs, both getting it done. Conor McGregor is the underdog going into this fight. This year's the year of the underdog, so you never know what's going to happen. So let's kind of get into it. I'm going to go over the ways that Max Holloway is going to win, why I think people are picking him, but also the ways that Conor could win this fight, and why I'm not counting him out to win this fight. So let's get straight into it. I think the two big advantages that Max Holloway has going into this fight is his speed and his gas tank. If you really look at it, let's go into speed first. Max Holloway was fighting at 145 about 2 or 3 years ago, a lighter weight class, and he usually had the speed advantage on the feet at that weight class. Now he's going to be going to 170, fighting against a much bigger fighter who hasn't fought in 5 years, who's put on a lot of weight since then. I think Conor McGregor is probably around 185, 190-ish now. He probably has a pretty decent weight cut to 170. I think that's why this fight is at 170 instead of being at 155. I know they said something like Conor was saying that BMFs don't cut weight, but I think he's probably too heavy to make 155 nowadays. He's going to be a lot slower than he used to be. Even against Dustin Poirier in his last two fights, Conor did not look that fast, especially compared to his prime. So I think this is going to be a much slower version of Conor. And I think that's going to come into play a lot. I think Max Holloway is going to be way too fast on the feet. It's going to be hard for Conor to land something. Connor's a very great counter puncher. It's going to be hard to counter punch someone that is just way faster than you. You know, to be a counter puncher, you have to have that speed to be able to evade that shot and land something on him. So I think that's going to come into play. I think also the gas tank, that's probably even more important in this fight. Max Holloway is able to go hard for all 5 rounds. We saw what he did to Justin Gaethje. Dominated Justin Gaethje the entire fight, all the way to the very last second, finishing Justin Gaethje, who now is the lightweight champion of the world. If you look at Conor McGregor, even in his prime, he didn't really have the best gas tank. He usually gassed out, around round 3, 4. We've never seen Max Holloway gas out. I think especially, again, this fight being at 170, him being a lot bigger, his gas tank is going to be even worse than it used to be. So I think, the speed and the gas tank are the two biggest advantages that Max Holloway wins. That's going to be the way he wins this fight. And it's definitely, a big disadvantage for Conor. I think he's used to being the faster fighter. If you look at most of his wins, Jose Aldo, he was way faster. Eddie Alvarez, he was way faster. Nate Diaz, he was way faster than. His gas tank obviously hasn't really always been good, and he's been able to deal with that. He's never really gassed out and lost a fight because of it. Really, his only fight that he lost, like kind of gassing out, was against Khabib, who, obviously losing to Khabib, I wouldn't really put that there like as a bad loss. Everyone lost to Khabib. He's undefeated. So I don't think, the gas tank played that big of a role in his past, but I think in this fight, it's definitely going to play a bigger role. Going against someone who is, known for just heavy volume, going hard all 5 rounds. And obviously his gas tank has not gotten any better in the last 5 years. It's not like he was training the past 5 years. He was, injured. He was drinking, partying. Even though he does seem very locked in now for this fight, I don't think that he's really able to, erase everything from the past 5 years. I think that is going to come into play, that inactivity, which is another advantage of Max Holloway, his activity level. He's fought 7 times since the last time Conor McGregor's fought, and he's only fought the best of the best. He lost some of the fights, but he's also won a lot of the fights. And if you looked at who Max Holloway has lost to, it's the best of the best as well. If you look at his last fight against Charles Oliveira, Charles is one of the best fighters of all time, the most finishes in UFC history. If you look at him versus Topuria, although Topuria did lose his last fight, if he won that fight, people would be calling him the greatest fighter of all time, at least one of the greatest fighters of all time. And he was, on route to that when he did fight Max Holloway. And then Volkanovski, Max Holloway did lose to multiple times. 2 of those fights being very, very close, that people thought Max Holloway might have won them. And losing to Volk again is not a bad loss. Volkanovski's probably the greatest featherweight of all time, in my opinion. And I think he is, probably top five all time MMA in general. So I think those are the reasons why Max Holloway might win this fight, why people are picking him, why I'm leaning towards Max Holloway to get the win. Let's go into why Conor McGregor can win this fight and why people shouldn't be counting him out. I think the main way Conor can win this fight is by knockout. I think he has enough power to knock out Max Holloway. Conor had knockout power at 145. He had it at 155. Now at 170, he's going to be more powerful than we've ever seen. Obviously, he's not going to be as fast. It's going to be a lot harder to land that knockout punch. But if he connects, he definitely could knock out Max Holloway. If you look at it, Max Holloway, he used to be known for having like one of the best chins in the UFC. But in 3 of his last 4 fights, he did get dropped. He did get dropped against Gaethje. It wasn't counted as a knockdown for some reason. It was counted as a slip. But if you look back at the fight, he was knocked down by Gaethje. If you look at him versus Topuria, obviously he did get knocked out by Topuria. And then him versus Dustin, he did get dropped in that fight as well. Max Holloway's chin is obviously still very good, but it is getting worse and worse. And at 170, he's never got hit by someone with as much power that Conor McGregor is going to have in that fight. So I think Conor McGregor could win this fight by knockout. I think his size advantage is going to come into play. I think he's going to just be able to just be a lot more dominant in there. I think he's going to be way bigger, obviously, than Max Holloway. I think Conor McGregor should try to wrestle in this fight. He did it in the first fight. That's how he won. I think that's a good way for him to win this fight is to mix in the takedowns. I don't think he's going to win this fight by taking down Max Holloway and controlling him. I don't think he has the gas tank to be able to do that for 5 rounds. But I think if Conor McGregor mixes in the takedowns, uses it to set up his striking, uses it to land on Max Holloway, he could land a shot to knock him out. I don't think that's likely going to be what happens. You've never really seen Conor McGregor shoot takedowns like that. I think the fight against Max Holloway was the only fight he really did shoot takedowns in. But that could be part of his game plan. We saw Max versus Charles. That's a big hole in Max Holloway's game. I think that Conor really just has to try to go out there and get the finish early. I think either way he's going to gas out later on to the fight, so he might as well put his all into that first and second round, because after that, I think the third, the fourth, the fifth, that's where Max Holloway is going to be most dangerous. I think Conor is most dangerous in that first or second round, and he can get a finish there. It's not impossible. If anyone could do it, it's Conor McGregor. He's beat the odds countless times. So that's really why I'm not counting out Conor McGregor in this fight. I do believe Max Holloway is still going to win, but I think this fight's a little bit closer than people are making it out to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you guys got, Max Holloway or Conor McGregor? I'm very excited for this fight. These are 2 of like my favorite fighters of all time. Conor McGregor, I grew up watching. Max Holloway recently has been one of my favorite fighters. Both of them very entertaining. This is going to be a good fight either way. Let me know who you guys got. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.